Welcome to Altitude After Dark with your boys DMac and Coach Mike Sanford on a bye week edition, but loads going on, and we'll get to college football. Isn't that interesting? No doubt about it. So we got all sorts of permutations and arrangements, and we'll get into that in a second. And we're watching at halftime. It's the Chiefs and the Chargers are charging it up right now, but the game's well within reach. So we'll see how that goes. The Bills game was unreal. That was such an exciting game. And I do want to bring up games relevant to the Broncos. And to me, that was a big one. It's 13-0 Chiefs over the Chargers, 44-42. And they ended the game with a punt. They were almost going to do something stupid and have Stafford run around like an idiot. And they're like, hey, you know what? Can you kick a punt really high? And the guy's like, yeah, that's what I do. And they figured out, we can waste 7 seconds with a punt. Comments on that game. And I am curious how, in terms of the Broncos, what you think, because we really do have, if the Broncos are finishing 7th or 6th, we're looking at the Bills, we're looking at the Chiefs, we're looking at the Steelers. Steelers with a win against the Browns today, too. So overall, what are your thoughts? And I've just set the table for you right there.
I'm just glad that Sean McVay didn't channel his inner Kenny Dillingham at the end of that. I don't know if you remember.
What do you mean?
The ending of the Arizona State BYU game that had like a crowd storming, and then the quarterback had taken like a 17-yard loss on a sack, and then
ridiculous.
Yeah, and then tried to execute the foul ball play, as I used to call it. And then there's a second left on the clock. Yeah, just you have paid professionals. Yeah, right. You have a long snapper, you can do it. The punter, you can catch it.
Good enough.
Pretty simple. Yeah, I'm just glad that it worked that way for the Rams. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for that, the takeaway for that Bills Rams classic, and it was high scoring affair, is that the Bills, I mean, they don't look unbeatable. Certainly.
Okay.
I've never felt that way. I don't think that the top third of the NFL, I feel like anybody could beat anybody on any given Sunday or Saturday or Thursday or whenever they play these games, Monday night. I think we saw it with even just the contrast between the Cleveland Browns that beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. What was it, like 2.5 weeks, or not even that? It was like a week and almost just about two plus weeks ago. They beat the Steelers, and then today they got the break speed off them. To me, there's so much parity in the National Football League. I like where the Broncos bye week hit. And I don't know about you, DMac, preseason, when I saw Roger Goodell roll out, or is it Roger Goodell? Is that his name?
That's his name. Yeah. Okay. Commissioner of the NFL. Yeah.
That guy. The guy gets booed every year at the combine or at the draft.
That's right.
When I saw the schedule roll out, I was like, yeah, Goodell's trying to just throw up the double barrels, double birds right at Sean Payton. Well, I mean, the schedule lined up pretty well. And even more than that, the bye, which I thought was going to be disastrous for a rookie quarterback.
Right.
I think it equips the Broncos well for the future.
Yeah, I think things so. And I'll give you my breakdown here in a second. Don't let concerns about shifts in the market disrupt your long-term financial goals. Edward Jones financial advisor Beau Smith can help. He'll work with you on an investment strategy for long-term results. Edward Jones can give you the tools and knowledge for a steady approach to hitting your financial targets. So get started by giving Beau a call at 303-758-8500 or visit edwardjones.com/Beau-Smith. That's BEAU-Smith. Edward Jones, member SIPC. I thought it sucked that the Dolphins won and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it was great.
That blew, come on, man. Come on, A-Rod. I mean, win something. Do something. And that just would have gone a long way to help the Broncos kind of seal the fate a little bit earlier. I still think they'll get in, but it would have been helpful. Now, the Chargers look like they're losing here. Mm-hmm. So if you can beat the Chargers, if you can beat the Colts, which I think they will do, and you and I did predict that, by the way. You and I both said they would beat the Chiefs, and you and I, which they should have, we know that. That was a virtual win for us. And both of us
win for us.
both of us said they're gonna go 4-0 after that. And we could see the writing on the wall. I just don't have them beating the Chargers, and I don't have them beating the Bengals. And I've got that final game with the Chiefs being important. Now, I don't want to see them play the fucking Bills, okay? Because I think you're going to lose by 30 there. Okay. I do. So this is just my take on it, okay? But the better story, in all honesty, while it would be pretty awesome, and I really was surprised. I thought the Bills would win today, so it sort of spoils my super hot take that the Broncos would beat the Chiefs in back-to-back weeks. That kind of gets all messed up because now
it was fun. It was fun while it lasted.
I know, damn it. But now that's all kind of blown to hell here because now the Chiefs, got to lose 2 games? I don't know if they're going to lose 2 games out of 4. I don't see that really happening. But that being said, now I really want the Broncos to get to 6 because they'd be playing theoretically the Steelers. And can you believe the Steelers, Coach, are 6-1?
Russell.
Is it 6-1? Do I get that right? Or is
6-1? 6-1.
And that is amazing. That is incredible.
He's playing good ball. I mean, Russ is still Russ. Russ still does the he look, you know what? When Russ is in the pocket at times, he looks like somebody who got even like me or my family gets dropped off in some foreign country. And you're just like, where do I go? Where's the bus? Where do I, he just sometimes just meanders around with no answer, but he's playing good football and he's not turning the ball over. He's not taking the enormity of sacks that he took it in Denver. And, the Chiefs the Steelers are just a good football team. And they run the ball well. They have a good defense, and Russ he's playing championship football. The only thing about this here, this is a weird take, and I'd love to hear your opinion on it. Back to the Bills losing. I actually thought if the Bills kept a stranglehold on how their recent form had been and was like just continued forth, and the Chiefs drop one. Yeah. Do the Chiefs sit out players against the Broncos just like week 18 because we can't get it anyway?
Yes, especially because they'd play the next week. Yeah. They would use it as a week to heal up. I don't know if they do that already having a bye week. I don't know if they want to go that long without their guys playing. Well, you tell me, Coach, what would you want?
Well, for the Broncos, I want any scenario that just the Chiefs feel content with where they're at week 18, and they know that they've had a long run of long seasons, and they play it. They either just flat out don't play Mahomes and Kelsey and Pacheco and Chris Jones, who's freaking ridiculous. I don't know if you watched the game tonight.
Oh, of course.
My gosh, he looks so good. Whatever it is, I want it to happen. Whether it's Chiefs, hey man, Chiefs, just keep going, keep doing your thing. Bills lost it, then you sit out. In week 18, I think that's a good thing. The Chiefs just seem beatable, except for when they're playing in primetime games or the postseason, because they look really good tonight. They look really good.
They do, but it's a typical fucking Chiefs game. They haven't run away with it. It's
that's typical NFL, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess so. The track meet that was the Rams and the Bills, that's not super typical. That's more college-y than NFL. It was fun though.
It's kind of Browns Broncos, How
about Jameis today too? Oh my God.
Yeah, he turned into a pumpkin. I mean, the process of turning into a pumpkin happened in Empowered Field.
I know I'm better than this. No, you're not. We said that. You're not. That's exactly who you are. You continue to be.
Hey man, I'm a strong believer in God, but he does not necessarily just choose to deliver people from pick sixes. That's my experience. That's my
that wasn't even the funniest thing. The funniest thing is that he says I'm better than this. It's like, Forget about the concept.
No, you got 10 years. You got 10 years. You just got to.
No, you're not. You're not.
Just go to your
Wikipedia
Wikipedia page. This is pretty consistent with who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
That'd have been funny if he came out and said, "This is who I am."
Oh man.
Can you imagine? All right. So just FYI, because you may be saying, well, hey, DMac, jerk, the Bills and the Steelers have the same record, but they win the tiebreaker over the Steelers based on strength of victory. Well, who knew that was a tiebreaker? Strength of victory.
Sounds like a CFP stat.
Golly, man. So that gives the Bills the tiebreaker over the Steelers. So, and right now, the tiebreak over Denver is based on the head-to-head with the Ravens, and that's a push with the Chargers. So that's not decided yet. So the Chargers lose, man. They have the same record as the Broncos. That's a trip.
How about this? How about this, DMac? I was looking at right before halftime, they showed the standings of the AFC. And if this was like soccer where they do World Cup and like they do updated live standings and what would happen in the World Cup coming out of this table. Right now, there are 3 teams in the AFC. If the current results hold of tonight's game, there are only 3 teams in the AFC with a better record than the Denver Broncos. 3. I mean, you have the Texans at 8-5. You have what would be the Chargers 8-5, and you'd have the Ravens at 8-5, and the Broncos as well. I mean, it is wild. And so it's not out of the realm of possibility to start thinking about climbing this thing. It really isn't.
All right. So how would you
get to the 5th spot?
I don't know if I want the 5th spot, frankly. Texans
suck. They suck. They're
unbelievably
inconsistent this year.
I want the Steelers. The Steelers.
I'm playing good ball, man.
I don't give a shit.
I do too. It'll make for great radio, and you and I are selfish.
I want to ruin the Chiefs, or the better story is beating Russ. Okay, and I'm not even hating on him.
Losing to Russ. How would that be?
Fucking suck. But I mean,
that's why it'll be great. That's
right.
It'll be the best build-up ever.
Give us an entire year to talk about that, bro. I mean, either way, we win. You know what we don't win? Talking about how the Bills beat there's the whole John Elway should have drafted Josh Allen thing, unfortunately, is the self-admitted worst mistake in Elway's career. Mm-hmm. So there's just no juice to that. Elway's admitted it. We all know it's the truth. It was the most disastrous draft in Broncos history based on the success of Josh Allen and the lack of success of the Broncos. There's no story there. Ending the Chiefs' legacy is a hell of a story. Playing Russ is a hell of a story. Not much of a story with the Texans, frankly. Oh, we didn't get D'Amico Ryans as a head coach. I mean, that's nothing. So I root for the best story, and I root for them to win. Now, if you tell me, hey, listen, the Texans are your best chance to win, I mean, okay, fine. Whatever. I'll take that. And then if you beat them, you'd be playing, the Chiefs, I guess. So, I mean, you could twist my arm on it. It's just not as good of a story as the Chiefs or the Bills. But frankly, this is fun having this conversation, period, because it feels like almost a certainty the Broncos are getting in.
Yeah, it is wild. Like when I see the the current standings of the AFC, to think that the Broncos aren't just knocking on the door of the postseason berth, but are tied with the 4th, AFC champion, and everybody else in the wild card has the same record as the Broncos. Like that's unique. And I go back to this, the coach in me just says all this stuff is really fun for us in radio. We want to engage with all the different storylines that could be coming. Mm-hmm. But man, as a coach, I just say, beat the Colts. Just beat the Colts.
Yeah, and for me, I like the drama too. I guess you can't really beat the drama. The drama's the best.
Yeah.
But there was part of me that was just like, hey, if things go right this weekend, you beat the Colts and that's it. You're in and, the end. And then we can worry about and that's not going to be the case now.
Yeah. Dude,
it's not. It's literally not.
Dolphins got a ways to go, man.
Right. But if they lose, we're good. You lose to the Colts. Listen, and I don't think they will, but you lose to the Colts, and there's a lot of drama.
Let's talk Dolphins remaining schedule. Have you done it recently?
I have not done the Dolphins. I've done the Bills. The Bills is pretty favorable, but I have not done the Dolphins.
But in terms of the Broncos, right? Like Dolphins play at Houston, at the Texans.
Tough.
Against the Niners, who looked resurgent today.
Oh, super tough.
At the Browns
are tough. That's a Sunday night game too. Wow.
And then finish out with the Jets.
You should walk over them.
Although you just won in overtime today.
I get it. I get it.
And at home too, by the way.
They know how to fucking fold. Nobody knows how to fold like the New York Jets right now. Yeah. They are. Well, for a heartbeat, I thought they were going to do all right, but then
it looked good. I mean, Aaron Rodgers looked a little old school. Aaron Rodgers today.
The Texans probably aren't going to have. What are they at? That division is terrible. Yeah, they got that locked up. So
they might shoot. I mean, they just got to start. The Texans and CJ Stroud they got to start playing better football. I mean, they really should have lost that game to Jacksonville today. Yeah, I mean, and that was Mac Jones playing horrible football. I mean, bad ball, and they won by 3.
Hey, by the way, how about the New York Giants doing their best to get Shedeur Sanders? They are focused. They are a focused club.
I think there's nobody more focused than the Raiders right now.
All right. Well, that brings me to a fun little moment here with you, Coach. And when it gets us into college football as well. I don't know what the scenario was. I don't know.
It looked like an award show. It looked like some type of award that was being given out.
All right. Well, here is Deion Sanders with Antonio Pierce.
You are truly a blessing, and it was well overdue. They almost got me mad. I started boycotting everything they did what they're supposed to do. Now I just need you to do one thing. I need you to draft those Sanders boys next year.
Is this? Can you do this? Can you
do whatever you want now, man?
Collusion, or I mean,
it's all fair in love and war. It's all fair in love and draft picks. I loved it. I think it was just by coincidence of the camera that panned right to Shiloh. He stood up so fast. He's like, "Please draft me. Please, somebody draft me. This is my moment."
I think that actually will happen. I think whatever team drafts Shedeur will take Shiloh.
No way.
6th round or later.
No way.
Yeah, there's another hot take for you.
All right,
hold on. You don't wait. You don't think Shiloh is a legit 6th or deeper draft pick?
I mean, let's think about what a 6th or deeper draft pick is for the Denver Broncos currently. You watch Devon Vele play?
I gotcha. Did you see Frank Gargiulio play this year?
No, but that's an offensive lineman. That's a depth.
How's JL Skinner doing?
He's doing awesome. He gets to watch his Boise State Broncos be a 3 seed in the college football playoff and get a first round bye.
You can bring up Vele, but I can bring up 6th and 7th round guys that are just kind of on the team.
Yeah, but it's an awesome freaking roll of the dice. I mean, there have been a lot of good players that come. I mean, Brock Purdy, man, you imagine. I mean, do you watch Brock Purdy?
Okay, all right, fine. So where does Shiloh get drafted?
He doesn't. I mean, I'm not talking out of hatred. I'm talking about like draft grades. I mean, it is what it is. Shedeur's the first. He's the first quarterback drafted. Period. And I actually thought Shiloh was playing good football last year. Good football. This season did not go well for him.
I'm telling you what's going to happen. Shedeur will get drafted. Shiloh will get drafted in later rounds by the same team, and Bronny James will think it's ridiculous.
Now, Shiloh is drafted if Deion Sanders, which by the way, I thought the most awkward moment of that was that he was there with Antonio Pierce.
I totally agree.
And it's like, hey man, like, and Deion's always class, man. He was class with everything. He's been unbelievably classy with the Alamo Bowl, which everybody in the media, including yourself, including Vic, just absolutely just sharded all over the Alamo Bowl, and this is the dumbest bowl game ever. Dude, he's excited about it.
Bullshit.
He's gonna play his team
for a quarter. It'll be 2 amazing drives, and everybody will quickly realize this is stupid. And and the one thing college football could have done, and I'm not exactly sure how you figure it out, so don't nail me for this one, but it's ridiculous you couldn't figure out how to have CU in Miami in an otherwise meaningless bowl.
I'm not nailing you for that. I mean, let's just be honest.
Let's have some brains in our head about what would make it
in this college football world that we live in right now. I mean, these bowl games that aren't part of the CFP, like it's just these are like make them entertaining. Find a way to just capitalize on some type of profit, in terms of viewership and intrigue of a game. But in reality, Cam Ward's probably not going to play in whatever the bowl game was.
Now he's not. I mean, I don't even.
What does Cam Ward gain going head to head? I guess he does have something to gain. He outplays Shedeur, and he could play for the number one.
Yeah. That's exactly what he would have to play for. Maybe another $10 million in his career, or whatever the difference is between 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 or whatever.
Yeah, that's low hanging fruit, in my opinion. In this modern landscape of college football, is just make the best possible, like at least 4 or 3 of the non-CFP games. Make them awesome. Make them must-see TV.
And they had a chance.
And now you have a conference game.
Like, why? Yeah, it's stupid. And why are we so indebted to, like, this bowl gets to choose this and that bowl gets to choose that? Like, why do we care about that? I don't understand it. And I don't know what other better matchups would be out there, but a conference game. I mean, CU Syracuse would have been more interesting because you could see theoretically Kyle McCord against Deion's Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, you can see Jake Retzloff, BY Jew, as he calls himself. He just, the quarterback for BYU is of Jewish descent and has leaned all the way into his BY Jew name. And he's going to be coming back next year to BYU. And he has signed a massive NIL deal with a kosher meat company, which is kind of cool.
All right. Mike, we are stretching like ridiculousness.
I just don't understand the conference game and a bowl game thing to me.
It's stupid.
It's un-American.
All right. Do you want to say anything else about CU and the Alamo Bowl? I mean, the snooze fest that will be, and your reward is to go to San Antonio?
The Riverwalk's a fun place, man. Have you been to a convention there before?
I've been to Santa. It's fine.
The beer's cold.
I'll tell you what's better is the fucking Gaslight District or whatever Gaslamp District in San Diego is better than the Riverwalk. I've been to both places.
You wanted to go Gaslight. You were thinking of the Red Light District in Amsterdam. That's where you were.
Gaslamp.
Oh,
whatever. Man. Downtown San Diego.
Hey, DMac, how you feel about the Boise State Broncos as the 3 seed, automatic bye? How you feeling?
I like it. I do like it. And here we go with college football. I like it as long as Arizona State was in too with a bye. I will tell you this. And Joel Klatt, oh my God, were you going through Joel Klatt today? Holy shit.
I can't. I honestly can't with Joel about 99% of the time. I just can't.
All right, but Joel was going off about how terrible everything is, right?
Yeah, the SEC and Alabama should be in. Well, Alabama don't suck ass in your second to last game against freaking Oklahoma, who also sucks ass and score 3 points. That's a terrible resume in a 3-loss team.
Would have been a travesty if SMU did not get into this thing. Travesty.
Like, what would prevent a team in 2025, like in an ACC or Big 12, the outside of it's a power 2, DMac. It's power 2. It's power 2. It's what it is. It's SEC Big 10. And that's the narrative spin. Although the way that this formed together, I mean, shoot, the ACC ends up with 2 teams in it. It's wild. But I would say this, if you're a power 2 team, why not sit out the conference championship game? Like, why not go straight 2020 and say we're opting out of the game?
There you go.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, what I don't know. What did SMU have to gain?
Nothing. I mean, all SMU has to say is look at Notre Dame.
Yeah. Yeah. What Notre Dame have to do?
Nothing. They sat there. and zero risk of a loss.
So I do believe in the future. They do need to go to rankings, RPI, and you shouldn't get this automatic, this, that, the other thing. I think they should do that. I do. So I'm with Joel a little bit on that, but whatever. Winning your conference should mean something. And listen, if it does mean something, the concept that the higher ranked conference like, so Boise State is higher ranked than Arizona State. Okay, cool. So I think it's fine. I just think like Arizona State should be rewarded for winning the Big 12.
Yeah, and they were.
And they were. Yep. And I know it's tough for CU people. I get it, because rightfully so, you can be looking at Arizona State and you could be saying Arizona State stole our story. They only won 3 games last year, not 4, 3. And they stole our story. We should be Arizona State. And frankly, had CU beat Kansas State, not even Kansas State, they had a chance to be Arizona State. And trust me, TV, everybody would have wanted that.
Yeah.
So when everybody looks at Arizona State, it should hurt a little bit. It should. And I think CU would have killed Iowa State just like Arizona State did.
That's a fair opinion to have. I would say that Iowa State had historically been pretty good defensively. This is what's your assumed incompetence syndrome, or what's the whole deal?
AIS. Assume
you just AIS'd your ass off about saying that CU would have whooped the.
You're right, and okay, and I'll give you something. The dangerous thing about Boise State and Arizona State, they are the 2 most dangerous running teams left in this tournament.
You're exactly right.
They are unbelievably committed to it, and they've got 2. Genty and Scadaboo are legit.
They're phenomenal players.
And colleges just aren't used to that. They don't do it. They don't face it that often. It's weird. And both Boise State and Arizona State have that game in their back pocket. So it makes them both dangerous, both of them.
Well,
and you should be pumped for Boise. I'm happy for you. I know you love. I'm thrilled for you. I'm thrilled for you, and you should be happy for me with Arizona State. So we should be happy for each other.
I actually thought the tournament. It's interesting. We look at this bracket. I put out a prediction last night, and I was pretty close. I got 1 through 4. I got 100%, and then 9 through 12. I got 100%. The middle. So this is all like stupid, like really deep into the weeds because all these teams got in. I got teams 5 through 8 exactly correct in terms of the teams that are in there. But I thought, and hear me out, the current form of Notre Dame, they had an early season debacle against Northern Illinois, and they got punished for it.
Yeah.
But I think current form of Notre Dame, I think they are playing at a top 4 level of college football today. Would you agree or disagree?
I'll keep it real. I have not watched Notre Dame all that much, so I'll take your word for it. They haven't had many
marquee matchups, man. I mean, that's
right. Like where would that be on my radar with everything else going on?
It was just the obliteration of undefeated Navy, and then the same thing against undefeated Army, and Army just destroyed Tulane, who a lot of people thought was going to surpass Boise State if they had won their last 2 games. So I don't know, man. I think I did not like Notre Dame earlier in this year. I did not. I didn't like Riley Leonard. They're big, they're physical, they can run the rock, and they have a gamesman quarterback. So I thought Notre Dame was deserving of 5.
Okay.
And I thought that number 6 should have been Texas, because the SEC, and they obviously played Georgia incredibly well. And then I thought 7 should have been Ohio State because they beat Penn State. They have a head-to-head. And then I thought Penn State should have been 8. That's what I thought. I mean, it's splitting hairs, but the committee loved Penn State, loved the fact that they competed hard and all the things. And then Texas, they rewarded for just being in the SEC championship, even though Texas hasn't beaten anybody this year of note, which is crazy. They're an SEC team that had a luck of the draw, a very soft SEC schedule.
Yeah. Well, to me, Texas, because I think Texas is going to kill Clemson, though. But Texas against Arizona State could be really interesting. Oregon against, I assume it'll be Ohio State. But so Oregon is going to have to, it's pretty funny. part of the argument that Joel had was Oregon's going to have to play in the Rose Bowl against Ohio State. I mean, all right. Then they're going to have to play in Texas in the Sugar Bowl, I think. No, not Sugar Bowl. Cotton Bowl, I believe, against Texas, perhaps. So Texas and Texas, and then maybe Georgia in Georgia.
I know, man. Yeah, Oregon got screwed in this whole deal, man.
It's not an easy path.
No,
I mean, if you're Oregon, you're gonna have to beat Ohio State, Texas, and Georgia on home fields for basically all of them. That sort of thing. All right.
Hey,
fine.
did you hear the little news flash that the Los Angeles Superchargers have taken the lead on the Chiefs?
I'm watching. I got it up here right now. I just didn't. Yeah. You know what's gonna happen here. You know what's gonna happen.
I know. You
know what's gonna happen. I mean, it's gonna be a good game, and by hook or by crook, the stupid Chiefs are gonna win. They suck. They're the worst one-loss team of all time. They were the worst undefeated team of all time. I really do think the Broncos would beat them in a playoff.
What do you mean by worst?
They're just lucky. They're not that good.
Are you talking regular season worst, or they're
yes,
not going to have
they're
a chance
burned
to win
out.
the Super Bowl?
They are so clearly burned out.
I thought they looked worse last year at this time than they do this year.
Well, it doesn't help. I mean, it's not getting better for them, but they're still winning because they're annoying. All right, let me. I got a couple of other little treats for you here. Well, we'd be remiss because I think you're doing this game, right?
Waiting on some final contracts to go through, man.
I don't want to
release yet. My cell phone's been a little quiet today because Bowl Game Radio Network has 20 some odd games that they're responsible for. So just waiting on it, man. I'll probably end up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, knowing my luck, because I wanted to be around Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and the CSU Rams. I was excited about it.
Who are they playing?
They're playing Miami of Ohio, who competed in the MAC championship this weekend. Got their ass kicked.
Yeah. So, I thought, okay, all right. Well, somebody said to me earlier today, they go, I didn't know Snoop Dogg had a bowl. And I'm going, Snoop Dogg has had a bowl since he was like 8 years old.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up near that bowl. I mean, he grew up about 6 miles from where I did in Long Beach, California.
Well, so, I was making a weed joke. That's what
I know. And I've smelled that. I've had that fragrance has been persistent throughout my entire lifetime. And I chose Colorado, which also, if you're driving on I-25, that same fragrance is always very abundant on the interstate.
All right. Yeah. Chargers are leading the Chiefs 14-13. And here's the graphic on NBC. Playing with fire, 58th team to start 11-1 or better. Wait, they got to be following this up with another number. Plus 54 point differentials, the lowest. -4 turnover differential, second worst. So they literally are the worst. They are literally the worst one-win team ever, Mike. They just proved it.
Or they're the greatest franchise in its current form in winning one-score games in the history of football.
They have the lowest, I got to remember that for tomorrow, the lowest point differential in their minus and giveaway takeaway. That is unbelievable.
How about 14 consecutive one-score games? That's wild.
It's ridiculous. The Broncos were crazy in 2015. They had 11 games that they won by 7 or less points. These guys have gone 14 straight. Third team in NFL history to win 9 of their 12 by less than 1. I don't know. It's all that sort of shit. All right, listen, I got something else fun for you. I do have something fun for you. It's the degree that teams will go to win a game is next level. Hang on for that. In times of financial uncertainty, how can you stay on track? Call someone who's invested in your success. Beau Smith, your Colorado Edward Jones financial advisor, can help you. He'll work to build a complete picture of your financial life, including your unique goals and passions, so he can help you achieve what's most important to you. Call Beau at 303-758-8500 to schedule an appointment today, or visit edwardjones.com/Beau-Smith. That's BEAU-Smith. Edward Jones, member SIPC. All right. Actually, I have two last things for you.
No, I like last things.
Yeah, two
I like
last.
finals.
Okay. When your star player breaks out in my country, you might be in trouble.
Reaction. In my country where I'm coming from, after this kind of stretch, you're gonna get a paycheck that is a little bit less than usual. So maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe a little motivation in that way. And one thing was the name of the great quote, like being benched. Being on the bench. I think that's a really good motivation too.
So, yeah, in my country. When you break
our radio station, I think Dave Fleck and Kevin Shockey should implement the same thing. Whereas if you have a bad radio show or your energy's down on one particular day, the paycheck is different.
It's a little lighter.
Is a lighter paycheck.
Yeah, but
I like that. I'm kind of down because I think I would respond to the challenge, kind of like the Nuggets as a franchise did today. I would respond to the challenge by absolutely freaking lighting radio airwaves on fire the next day. It is what it is.
Hey, in my country, blibbity blabbity blue, meaning you guys are over here, I'm over here, because in my country, we wouldn't put up with this shit. Basically, that's what he's saying.
He did.
And I don't know if it's just like a lighter paycheck or you're sitting on the bench. Who knows what you're doing? Like, who knows what's happening in his country? Who knows what other kind of punishment is happening in his country?
The Adriatic League, things are a little different. They're just they're a little different. There's a few that we can't account for, maybe as a civilization, after they didn't give great effort on the defensive side of the floor.
Yeah. In my country, we'd never hear from you again. In my country.
DMac, how about the Avs giving up one goal? One?
Atomic wedgie.
A Georgie wedgie? We had a Georgie wedgie, goal.
We had a Georgie wedgie.
My gosh.
What
are we doing?
All right, let me give you one more fun one on the way out here tonight. And I'm having fun on a bye week. I can figure this stuff out. The degree that teams will go to win. Okay. We present the Giants Saints game where a player on the Giants gave an only.
Do we know which player?
We do not.
Oh, I need to know so bad.
But it's hard to read here, but it's a back and forth between an OnlyFans model who is topless at the Giants Saints game, and his request in getting her tickets for free was that she flash the Saints. Now, is this a player or not? I don't know. Who knows? I don't know if I'd have to do some further investigation if this was in the family section. But this seems
like great marketing for said OnlyFans content creator.
Yeah, I definitely have a raised eyebrow if this is really a player.
Is it Malik Neighbors?
We don't know who it is.
Well, because Malik Neighbors was asked after the game, did you hear about the airplane that was flying around MetLife Stadium today?
No.
It was flying around. You know those old banners that fly behind?
Of course.
You know those.
Of course.
It said something like help fix this disaster. And it kept circling around the Giants stadium. This right here that you're looking at on your screen, that happened today. They interviewed Malik Neighbors after the game, and he said, he kind of was like, I didn't pay for that plane.
Right.
Like almost like it was a possibility that he had paid for the plane. So I'm wondering if Malik Neighbors is like, I'm going OnlyFans content creator in my seats to flash the Saints, and I'm going to go plane to fix this disaster for the Mara family in New York City.
Let me tell you, the banner behind the plane is right out of the old school FM shock jock rock station morning show playbook. Have you
ever been a part of those antics?
I have. I've done several. I'll give you a funny story. So I was at KBPI. This is like circa 2003, and the Broncos were like playing the Bengals. And we didn't know, but Lewis and Floorwax on the Fox, we were on KBPI. We're in the same building. We're like 15 feet down the hall from each other. And we started getting some phone calls about the banner we flew at the Bengals game, like rah-rah Broncos something at the Bengals game. And we were looking around at each other like, we didn't do that. But we were like, well, screw it. We'll take credit for it. So we started getting a bunch of calls and we're like, yeah, did you like that? Pretty awesome, huh? About 10 minutes later, Michael Floorwax bursts into the studio and starts yelling at us like we're getting scolded by the old guy from down the hall about like taking credit for their bit. We had no idea they had done it, but we were taking credit for it because people were giving us credit for it. So he comes into the studio and starts yelling at us like a school marm that, I'm like, hey, man, why don't you figure out a better bit? Play better, as Sean Payton would said. So we just laughed our ass off and we told our whole audience that we just got yelled at by Michael Floorwax.
What's Michael Floorwax doing now?
Oh, that's not a good story. I should probably stay away from that one.
Okay. Nothing?
Not great, Bob, as they would say.
Play better. Just got to play better.
Rick Lewis is doing great. How about that? I'll leave it. Rick Lewis.
Oh, were they co-hosts?
Oh, yeah. That was they were a whole.
Is Michael Floorwax alive?
You know what? This is probably time where we end this conversation. It just gets into icky territory. But
we have no idea. I truly have no clue.
No, and I love that.
The beauty of my virgin, naive ears.
I love it about you. It's one of my favorite things. You ask questions that and it's weird for me to not be able to answer a question. And you hit one. You got one.
The good thing is in the age of Google, we're going to leave nothing up to chance.
You'll find out quickly. Okay. All right, pal. We'll see you tomorrow for the morning sprint at 10 a.m. with Good Raj, and plenty of great things to talk about. And we're focused on the Colts. And Sean Payton has a press conference. What would you ask Sean Payton? 10 a.m. He has a Zoom press conference. What would you ask Sean Payton tomorrow morning? I
found out a little scoop today.
Yeah.
Sean Payton apparently had off-season conversations over the last couple of years, but made a decision for the first time in his career this bye week to just let the guys go.
Yeah.
Like no practice, no nothing. That's been an Andy Reid mechanism. He's been utilizing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. And
I would ask the question.
Yeah.
Are you nervous at all about the amount of time these guys had off?
It's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
On the surface, I really like it because I think it was hard to get to this bye week this late. Mm-hmm. And I think with so much on the line, it's like a new season.
I love it. I have zero questions about it.
Yeah.
Because if this was an immature, drama-laden outfit and franchise, I would have questions.
Right.
It's not.
No.
Period.
No.
So I like it a lot. And I think, Bo Nix went off to his father's state championship game in Alabama. I believe they won the state championship. And
very cool.
I heard, Jaleel McLaughlin went to go look. He just wanted to go drive around and look at Christmas lights.
Oh, right.
So yeah,
cool.
Just good vibes, man. Good vibes for the Broncos. Good, clean fun.
Yeah.
Not everybody going to, Shotgun Willie's or Vegas or, Cancun. As long as they all get back and they look recharged and energized, it's a big win.
It appears that their travel arrangements were not made by the Val Nichushkin travel agency. So for that, we are grateful. Okay. All right, Coach. We'll see you tomorrow morning. See you, pal.